Operation Confidence proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes Talk Radio Show. Tune in weekly on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time with your host, Consuelo Mackey. Co-host, Air Force veteran Matt Davidson. Announcers, Taylor Marcella and Brooke Gadesi. U.S. Army veteran and entertainment segment host, Charles Whitehead. U.S. Army veteran and strategies for host segment host, Dr. Kathy Cash. U.S. Army veteran and Lifeline for Women Veterans segment host, Martha Elena Varela. National Director of Faith Services, Chaplain, and Veterans in Recovery segment host, Anthony Acampora. And U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarcerated to Success segment host, Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Operation Confidence, America's invisible hero, invisible hero.
Operation Confidence is a grassroots nonprofit. The organization's mission is to provide stable housing for veterans who have experienced homelessness, as well as providing a wide range of supportive services. To help accomplish our goal, a successful landowner has donated land for the project, a world-renowned architect has offered to design the houses, and construction classes from the local community colleges will take part in building the houses. Your support and donations are needed. To get involved, please visit our website at www.operationconfidence.org or email info@operationconfidence.com.
Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to America's Invisible Heroes. Yes, I'm your host, Consuelo Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. No, I'm not a veteran, but my heart goes out to our American heroes, especially those with a disability and have experienced homelessness. For those who are new to the show, American Invisible Heroes was created to provide a platform for our veterans to be able to share their experiences, heartfelt stories, resources, and challenges. Now, American Invisible Heroes now has a new format. Each week, we allow one of our co-hosts to come on. She's welcome, or he's welcome to bring a guest. So today, I'm going to allow Taylor, our board member, to take it away and introduce our co-host and, of course, our board member, Charles. Take it away, Taylor.
You got it, Connie. We have board member U.S. Army Reserve veteran Charles Whitehead, who's the host of entertainment and investigative reporting. And then we have Miss Dorsay Dujon with her monthly segment, Make Music LA.
Okay,
So,
I'm going to let you open the show today. Taylor.
Yes,
yeah, you have some exciting news.
I do. So on, 19 October, Edwards Air Force Base held a wheelchair rugby game. Airmen from Edwards Air Force Base hosted the Wheelchair Rugby for National Disability Employment Awareness Month at the Edwards Air Force Base Rossburg Fitness Center to pay tribute to the accomplishments of those with disabilities. Several airmen from Edwards came out to support and take part in the match sponsored by the Triumph Foundation. And the purpose of the NDEAM is to educate the public about disability employment issues and celebrate the many and varied contributions of America's workers with disabilities. So as I said before, there was an event. It was so much fun. I actually participated in, the wheelchair rugby. It did scare me a bit because I have brittle bones, and so I was not looking forward to being crashed up against or anything. The rolling is nature, but it's the crashing part where I was just like,
oh no,
don't do that. No,
please show us.
Please don't make me do that. So this is some of the pictures that was captured by our PA team.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. Like these people are intense. A
Mm-hmm.
couple of times someone actually fell out of their wheelchair.
Oh no.
And I was like,
There you are.
there I am. This is the lady and the woman in the middle. That's Miss Darcy Painter, and she works with the EO and an advocate for individuals with disabilities that work on base. And then the lady to the other side of her is Miss Alyssa, and she helped me coordinate that event for the day. And it was a base-wide event. So we reached the entire population of what, over 12,000, including active duties, their spouses, and civilian and contract workers. And
What
I
does the
also
base white event mean?
the entire base,
Oh,
like from each squadron, from each unit, all of it. So base-wide is the entire Air Force base of Edwards.
was
And
there
then
as the audience or participated or
they
what?
could participate, they can look, and a lot of them were hanging out at the front door,
Oh,
or
okay.
because they're like they were shocked too. I'm like, yeah, these people just,
Intense, huh?
it is very intense, and they just it's very intense, and they kind of just did it, and I was very impressed, and I didn't anticipate using um as much energy with that, because
Right.
I don't know what I was thinking, but here I am. I'm just like, don't hit me, don't give me the ball, just
No,
let
ain't
me
no
just roll
fufu.
around.
Ain't no fufu in sports.
No,
What'd you
because they
say?
have two cones on either side of the court, and you have to carry the ball and roll it through the cones to get a point.
Yeah,
And
what
so I
were
was like,
you
don't give me
doing, Taylor,
anything. I
other
don't
than
exactly. I stayed out the way. That's what I did. I stayed out of the way. I'm not taking a ball. Again, I don't want to be in an
You're supposed to take those braids and tie them into a loop and get really
um
hey, get
physical.
busy.
because initially I wasn't going to, but they're like, come on, you just give it a try. And I was like, all right, I can do that. Just
And then when they start whistling by you, huh? What'd you say?
I was like, nope. I am comfortable on the sideline. I will
Yeah,
cheer. I will be
all
the
right.
scorekeeper. I will be all of the things, but yeah,
But
I'm
nothing
not,
to have to do with that rugby. Yeah, that's so funny.
because
Well,
it
look,
was a lot.
you
I
had
was
a lot
like,
of fun.
I had so much fun, and we got so much support from our the base and my group and all of that. So I
Right.
definitely enjoyed it. And so I will share a little bit about some information regarding the Triumph Foundation if you aren't aware,
Yeah, I
is
know
that
him.
the organization,
That's Ray and Robert.
yeah, and they were like, oh, you should try. I'm like, okay. So essentially, it's a foundation mission is to help children, adults, and veterans with spinal cord injuries to triumph over obstacles they face and to inspire and keep moving forward. And so every month, if not every month, twice a month, they have events all across the
Everywhere.
state, the city, everywhere, just to bring awareness and inclusion for individuals with disabilities, especially, with those with spinal cord injury. And they, they it's similar to PVA. They
Right.
have um
Hmm?
and I think they work with PVA
They
or
do.
in conjunction with PVA to provide these opportunities and these experiences for individuals who, you know, may not know that, you can still live life even with a spinal cord injury, and then just to get that camaraderie and that support from others who have had that same, shared experience does a world of difference in terms of, healing and improving and doing better for themselves. So
Wow.
this is a little bit of the Triumph Foundation. I can play the video if you like, just briefly.
Yeah.
It's a minute.
Please.
Okay. So this is,
Imagine, in the blink of an eye, you're in a hospital,
and he was
lying
there.
in bed,
Yeah, Andrew.
unable to move your arms or legs.
Amazing.
Your life has traumatically changed in an instant. This is a reality for more than 10,000 Americans who suffer spinal cord injury every year. And for many who are watching, this is your reality right now. Triumph Foundation is here to help you. People are universally unprepared to deal with a spinal cord injury. So I started Triumph Foundation in 2008 when I recognized that there were many unmet health needs. We are here to help you rebuild your life. We provide opportunities for people with disabilities to contribute their talents and to be seen for who they are and what they can do. I invite you to join Triumph Foundation and to support our outreach efforts to make life better for those that suffer life-changing accidents.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
In which way
Yeah.
did you participate, Charles? You said it where you.
Oh no, I know those guys. Andrew and the whole crew. Because I've participated in some of the. They would have like a spinal injury support group. They do years ago. It's been a while, since before the pandemic now. But they had one in Long Beach over at the Long Beach Memorial Hospital. They would do once a month spinal cord injury support thing. I went for whenever I could, but I know those guys. I've known them for years. They
Did
come.
you ever play rugby?
No, rugby is mostly generally it's for like quadriplegics, tetraplegic.
Oh, really?
Football. Now I broke my leg once playing football up in Santa Barbara. We used to have a thing called the Blister Bowl, and it was once a year, and we would have, because that was when I was playing for Casa Colina, and we were like the top dogs back then. We were
Super dudes. Huh?
I broke my femur. I've broken femur 3 times in my life now.
Oh my God. So
So
you have to come back and show us. Do you have any videos on that? Because that's
there's ESPN was there for 2 years and they videotaped our like the championship, and it just it's a small world because Bob Malinati, who's the part of the PVA where I'm at, he was actually the commentator for that back then, and that was before, so but ESPN was there 2 years, and it's supposed to be touch, but it's slam, it's crash, it's bang, it's you get out there and your ego gets, it's not anything but touch.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it. I know that wheelchair basketball.
I
Those
played
guys.
for basketball for 20-some years, so
Ooh, those guys are rough.
and basketball is rough, but football is where you're allowed to crash is even worse.
You don't have any of those videos after Taylor's presentation? You have to look online. I'm quite sure you have it.
I got I have to look for them.
That's what you plan, right? Try to look for it while we do Dorsay. But that's amazing though. And Taylor, what Taylor? You say Taylor?
No, I was like, no. No, that's
they
okay.
were just wishing right by you. I see you.
They were. And as soon as I got out the game, because it was 10-minute games. And so we held it from like 10 to 11. And we had people that stayed there from the beginning to the end, and they were tired, like they're sore, their hands hurt. These are able-bodied participants. They got blisters in their hands and all of that.
They were in the wheelchairs too, the able-bodied?
Yeah, because they brought in, I think, maybe 10 additional wheelchairs.
Yeah, they're bringing extra chairs for people to.
And then extra parts just to get that experience, and, to hear them say, man, this is work. I'm like, oh, really? Do tell. Tell me more. We can tell me more.
Right.
But it was a great experience.
You just backed right on to the back. So
I sure did. I said, please, back it up. I'm out. That's cool.
Well, I don't know. It didn't look fair to me where they had women and men playing together. The guys,
the
guys would be really rough.
That's true.
The girls were just as rough.
Well, hey, you know what? The girls that are playing, and that's rugby. Now I'm talking about we have, girls that are playing football. You go out there thinking those girls are like,
dainty, kind of like,
and that's in any sport, because they're not women we don't have enough like women to, make up like full teams like we do men. But here's an example. There's a guy that I work with at Rancho, and he's 6'1", and like we had the LA County had a wheelchair basketball tournament. It was at Rancho. It was 3 years. And one of the guys that played with that I work with, he's 6'1", man, you know. And there was a girl at Rancho, well, she was on another team. And I was telling him about how, hey, man, you know, they can hold you back in this. He's, you know, talking stuff, right? When we got to playing, and this girl, she was holding him back. He's like, you know, so I tease him to this day. He's like, hey, man, you know, get her off of me, you know. Say, oh, you scared? You was talking smack now. I say, oh, you see how I said they'll hold you back, and then
What does hold you back mean in playing
like
football?
they get their wheelchair and they block you so you can't go forward. That way, the team. So if you take one guy out, he's a tall guy. Take him out of the, you know, and then you know,
he's
then,
in a wheelchair.
yeah, everybody's in a wheelchair. You know, he didn't use a wheelchair, but I was trying to tell him, don't be underestimating her because she will hold you because she went to college for you know, to do wheelchair basketball. The people who are they get these scholarships, they go to college, and colleges don't play. You know,
Right.
a team full of people at Casa Colina, like we got big, strong Paralympians. We went to play one of them college scenes in Chicago. And they just, them little kids was just, they press you, you know, I mean, they wear you out because they practice like 2 or 3 times a day. And we get to practice maybe once a week, maybe twice at the most. So those kids are like, you know, and you can't assume anything. So I know what you mean. Taylor gets out there, she's like, oh no, this, you know, I'm Miss America's
Yeah, right.
maid. I'm not Miss USA, you know.
You miss wheelchair.
I was like, I cannot do
I'm doing the pageants, not this. This is not me. I'm full.
I will support. I am definitely. I am not afraid to admit that. I'm okay.
I don't blame you, girlfriend. I would do
like
the
it is
same
okay.
thing. Yeah.
So I do have a flyer for their next event. I will share my screen now.
Okay.
And you can find them on Facebook, and how to contact them is also on Facebook.
Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm.
So this is the Triumph Foundation. They have an event on the 4th.
Where's that going to be now?
In Pasadena.
Okay.
You gotta tell people how to get in touch with those guys too, because
so to get in touch,
right,
you can contact them at 661-803-3700, or you can email them at info@triumphfoundation.org. Again, that's info@triumph-foundation.org, or you can go to their website at triumph-foundation.org.
Mm-hmm.
So this is some of the events that they've done.
You're going so fast through the pictures.
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, she's amped up right now.
I am
now,
ready.
I see a senior there. Is she playing the rugby?
Playing golf.
Is that golf?
So they play different sports. Yeah, golf, rugby. I'm sure other sports as well.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So
yeah, that was great. So let them know we're very proud of them. You do know the director, right? Or you met him or her?
Andrew. Yeah, I met him. Yeah. He's really cool.
Andrew's cool.
You know him too, huh?
Yeah, I know Andrew.
Okay. You got to have him to come and do an event for us too. Okay, so now, Charles, you're going to take it away and talk about Dorsay over there being quiet.
All right, Dorsay being quiet. Let's see here. Okay. Let's talk about Dorsay Dujon. And see, I'm not going to say Dujon today because it's Dujon, right? I'm always giving Dorsay a heart. You know, she got that name, you know, it makes you want to say it, you know, it's like it's French or something, you know?
It is.
But I'm saying it, you know, it makes you want to say it like Dujon, you know? But, okay. But anyways, let's see here. Dorsay is the founder of Make Music LA, Los Angeles. It's a nonprofit 501c3 organization that's dedicated to creating educational, cultural, and family inclusive events for all of LA County. As a volunteer for the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council, Dorsay created a kite festival and brought in professional kite flyers to demonstrate and teach the art of kite flying. She had, excuse me, that was Kids Fly LA. In addition, she presented concerts in the park with music ranging from jazz, classical, folkloric, zydeco, and hip hop. Throughout her career as a trade show producer and exposition manager, Dorsay was active on several advisory boards. The St. Basil's in Chicago, Hands Across Watts, the International Association for Exhibition Management, for which Dorsay became a certified exposition manager. Dorsay formed a consulting firm, Dorsay Dujon and Associates, with clients, the American Dental Association, National Exhibition Center, Birmingham, England, and the British Tourist Authority. Dorsay is currently vice president of the Silver Lake Improvement Association. She produced articles for Gentleman's Quarterly magazine and as a featured presenter, author of educational modules, communicating with exhibitors. Her project management for the exhibition industry and cultural diversity. Their organizational learning for the trade show industry. There's a lot of stuff I messed it up.
That's too much already.
Well, okay, let's get it. Okay.
I know all that.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Don't be
Yeah,
blind.
yeah. Dorsay is an arts advocate, that for sure. Dedicated to engaging and transforming communities of LA through shared cultural experiences of the visual and performing arts. To ensure all children and their families have an opportunity to participate in ongoing music, and she in the art programs is her thing to stimulate lifelong learning and creative invention. Whoosh! Oh, that was a lot.
You know it.
You know what? I went online a while back. I'll say about 6 months ago, and there's some fabulous events that you had hosted. You need to show those. People can't really understand what Make Music LA is all about.
Well, I do. I was there, you know.
You were there. Did you tape anything, Charles? To show?
Well, that was what I have pictures from the first one was at the Celebrity Center, Dorsay.
Yeah, that was 2012 actually.
Yes, so me and the band, we went out there and
was it just pictures? Yeah, you don't have a video.
It's just pictures.
No, I might actually have some pictures. I'll have to look through mine because I know I do have some photographs from the Celebrity Center, and I came there as well.
Yes.
I was there.
Yeah,
So yeah, I do have some photographs.
Yeah.
What about videos? I thought I've seen some videos on YouTube.
There are a few videos.
Yeah. Well, maybe Taylor look for them while you giving your presentation. Let's hear about you, girlfriend.
Yeah.
With that spooky background.
Well, it's really funny that this is Halloween and different things happen. As you know, we had planned on having a couple of great guests with us today.
Right, that's too bad. They had prior engagements.
Totally forgot that he had tickets for the Chargers. So that was like, oh, gotta go.
Right.
And then my friend Michael Whitehorse, Whitehorse Avlas, who I actually knew that he wasn't going to be able to come, but we decided we would tape a segment and then we would be able to show it.
Mm-hmm.
We did that on Monday and it turned out really nice. The only problem is me and my lack of technical skills. So we have it. I just have to figure out now how to get it so that I can show it.
Okay.
So we'll do that another time. But
you can't email it to one of us?
When I figure out how to do it, yes, I'll be happy to do that.
Someone emailed it to you, right?
No, I took it on Zoom.
Oh, you took it. Oh, okay.
So now I just have to figure out how to save it the right way. So
right. Well, we'll do that.
That's another day. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah. But in the meantime, what I wanted to do was Michael had a wonderful film on the Chickasaw Nation and their contribution to the United States Armed Services in the various wars. And the beauty of this film is, well, we're learning a lot. Many of us, we don't know about the various nations and how they made these contributions to society, because oftentimes, as you know, our history is erased. So it kind of doesn't matter what color you are, the history gets erased. But this film really does let us know more about the nation and their contributions to all the wars. So I'm gonna try and get that for us. Let's see. I have it up now. I share the screen. Let me see. How do I do that? I see that now. What am I supposed to do? It says multiple participants can share simultaneously. So
Just go, Charles, give her instructions.
Just share screen.
you want me to get the film?
You have it open first.
I have it open. Yes.
So when you go to hit share screen, you should see it there, and you're, like to choose from.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me do this. Sorry, everybody. Again.
That's okay. Don't get nervous.
Let's see. Oh, that one's
If so, and
sharing options.
You don't want to send it to Charles?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's more work to send it to me than it is to show it. So,
Okay, let's see.
So if you see the green share button, right? Share screen.
Yes.
You click on that. If your video, if it's open, not just down, it can't be down, minimized. It's got to be open, like if you're ready to see it almost.
Yeah, I have it open. I have it up. But
and so when you click that green button, it should show what videos you have open, or anything you have open. Pictures.
Let me see.
Unless you got a million things open. And, well, I did have a long list of accomplishments, so I can see that.
Let me see here. Okay, I think I know part of the problem is I have to move this out of the way. Yeah, I'm sorry to do this to everybody.
No, that's okay. We got, and so that's why I say if you have a lot of things, you just have to make sure you see it. That particular whatever you want to see.
Oh, wait a minute. No, this isn't right. That's not right. I hit the green button and
then there should be a two little buttons at the bottom that say share sound and optimize video clip.
Why don't you email it over to Charles?
How long is the video?
It's 20 minutes.
Oh, that's going to be a big vid. That's a big file. So you got to transfer it over. You can't just email it unless you have the clip, the link. If you don't have a link.
It's a link. I was sending you.
Now, which one is that? The Chickasaw?
Yes, you have that.
Let me work on it then here, because
you have that, don't you?
Yes, I do. Hold on. Let me work on it.
I'm wondering why I can't see it on here.
Well, let him. Don't worry about it. Let Charles just click the link.
Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, I got it. So hold on. Let's see here. Let me.
What's taking you so long, tech guy?
No. Hey, I got to get to it,
Okay, here we go.
reputation of the Chickasaw warrior is nothing short of legendary. The warrior culture and spirit of Chickasaw society goes back to before the beginning of recorded written history, but was first documented when Chickasaw warriors engaged and defeated Spanish explorers almost 500 years ago. And that traditional warrior spirit has continued throughout history.
I tried to join the Army when I was 14, but being a religious family that I was, I couldn't lie to the man when he asked me how old I was, and I said I was 14. He said, "Go home, son, come back when you're 18. But we were still in war. When I was guarding prisoners after basic training, we built the airport, we built the roads around the island, and we built docks for the ships. And that was our job. Being 90 years old, you forget a lot of things. But I remember when the Korean War broke out, you could see the firing of the guns and the planes dropping bombs, napalm bombs on them. The devastation we saw, the people by the thousands, and everything they had was on their back. They was going south and we was going north. Well, you pray a lot. You know, the World War II veterans, the people that's been in combat in the Vietnam era, you know, I'm so proud of those people. I wanted to be in World War II, you know, because when Japanese bombed us in Pearl Harbor, I wanted to pick up a gun and go fight.
Before and after Europeans set foot in North America, the Chickasaw were known as a fierce and fearless people. Warfare as a means of defending the homeland was passed from one generation to the next.
My great-grandpa was Isaac Underwood, World War I veteran. My grandpa was C.D. Underwood, World War II. And my father, Cecil Underwood, a Vietnam-era veteran.
My grandfather was in World War I, Isaac Underwood. He was an original enrollee. All of my dad's brothers all served. They were war heroes.
And myself, Iraq and Afghanistan, and my son getting out right now, even as we speak.
The preparation for becoming a Chickasaw warrior began soon after birth. Young Chickasaw males were swaddled in many types of skins to take on the character of the animal. For example, a panther skin was thought to instill a fierce spirit into the baby. As soon as they were old enough to learn to use weapons, they were trained by the elder men in the use of bows and arrows and blowguns.
I certainly did feel a sense of pride in serving, as well as those around me. The people that I served with, I will go to the ends of the earth for, as well as them for me. I feel like the legacy in the Chickasaw Warrior is strong today, very strong. It allowed me to go and fight, allowed my son to go and fight. And I feel that it is a sense of duty that brings every Chickasaw warrior together to serve.
As Chickasaw youth grew older, they were expected to meet certain physical challenges. They would sweat or occupy the hothouses, then bathe in ice-cold rivers, going back and forth between the two extremes in temperature, prepared them to survive harsh weather conditions and strengthened their resolve.
Military service ran in my blood, starting from my father, which joined the Navy. On the Chickasaw side, my uncle, which served in the United States Army. I joined the Navy directly after September 11th, and I felt my duty to my country was even more needed at that time. I ended up in Afghanistan, and from there I went to the Secretary of Defense's staff at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., which ultimately led to becoming a combat support technician for Naval Special Warfare, specifically SEAL Team 10. I think to be proud and to love your heritage, to love being Chickasaw, you also have to love being American. You also have to love everything that America stands for: equality, perseverance, professionalism, and power. And the sacrifice that's made is not just for my family, but for future generations, so that they have something to be proud of and can look back at and see that their father, grandfather, great-grandfather did something worthy of the nation. I want them to know that their father is a good person, first and foremost, but also feels that he has an obligation to the country, to be a citizen, to live in this freedom, and to love this nation. Anything worth having is worth dying for. The military and the country owes me nothing. I owe it everything.
Historical accounts depict the determination and sheer will of the Chickasaw people, who were significantly outnumbered 5 to 10 times by other regional tribes. But the Chickasaw still controlled a comparable landmass, a profound testament to the tenacity of Chickasaw warriors and the military prowess of Chickasaw culture.
I joined the Marine Corps at the age of 18 after having a friend killed in Vietnam. I decided I wanted to go to Vietnam and get even. And I went ahead and stood for my country at that point. The Vietnam War was just really starting to heat up. I was a squad leader in Vietnam, did 2 tours with Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 1st Marines. And we were in battles up at Way City, Quai Son, the Tet Offensive in 1968. We were often outnumbered by hundreds or thousands even in some of the battles we were in. But like the Chickasaw Nation, we never lost a battle. The 1st Marine Division never lost a major battle. And I always was proud of that because I know that the Chickasaws were unconquered.
The Chickasaw inspired each other on a daily basis, and their determination in tracking down enemies or recovering captives is legendary. History shows us Chickasaw warriors did not quit. Defending their tribal brothers was an ingrained part of their culture.
I knew I wanted to do something big. I knew I wanted to do something that would make an impact. So I joined the service and served 30 years in the United States Navy. The Chickasaw warriors are an inspiration. I felt a drive to serve the Navy and to get into law enforcement. I think that goes in spirit with the Chickasaws because their females were fearless. They had so much to protect and they had so much to lose. They cherished elders. They cherished children. Protecting those was something that they were going to do and lay their lives down for it. When I think about the Native American contributions to the wars, specifically World War II, the Code Talkers allowed us to win that war. And even during that period of time, there were many in the U.S. and many in the service that were not accepting of the Native American Indians. Through the Veterans of Foreign Wars, I assist other veterans with their disability claims. I take great pride in that. I love the opportunity to help other veterans. I can't trade that feeling for anything. I still want to be on the forefront. I still want to be walking a path that others can follow. And I still want to inspire.
Chickasaws and other First Americans have traditionally served in the U.S. military at higher rates than other ethnic groups, a testament to their patriotism and warrior spirit. It's an amazing spirit that persists to this day. Prior to removal, some Chickasaw women would occasionally accompany the men in war parties. These women would sing songs during the combat, inspiring the men to even greater exploits of courage and bravery in battle against enemies. Chickasaw women were as fearless and undaunted as the men.
I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself, and that's the truth. Just to help people, to serve. So I joined the Army as an MP. I had to convince people that I could do it, but I had a lot of champions behind me, drill sergeants and sergeants. It's all in the element of surprise, is what my sergeant told me. It's not about your size, it's the element of surprise. My dad and my uncle gave me a hard time about being the hatchet women, but yes, they weren't afraid to step up. They had that warrior spirit, and I believe we still have that warrior spirit in us. It's innate. And so I served in intelligence for several years while I was in nursing school. And then once I graduated, I became a flight nurse in the Oklahoma Air Guard. You're the one that's standing beside them, giving them comfort and letting them know that they're going to be okay and that you're going to get them home and that you're going to take care of them and you're not going to leave them. And they don't have to be afraid. And to be a Chickasaw, there's no greater honor than to be allowed to do those things. The military and the Chickasaws, the tribe, is all about who you're serving and the mission and the person standing next to you. That's what it's all about. When I look back at Chickasaw women and I see the hardships they endured and the strength and the courage that came from within, yes, that inspired me to be a warrior and to be in the military and to be a part of this tribe and continue that spirit, absolutely, and pass it on to the next generation.
Chickasaws and other first Americans helped the European colonists learn how to fight against opposing forces, hiding behind cover, advancing in irregular formation, skirmish, and attacking the enemy at unconventional times. These are techniques that American colonists learned from first Americans, including the Chickasaws, and are what enabled the American colonists to defeat the British Army. The very birth of the United States of America owes part of its success to first American warfare tactics.
I joined right out of high school when Vietnam kicked off and started going. I was working on helicopters, but they formed this new unit down in Fort Benning, Georgia, called the 1st Cav Division. So I left Fort Hood, went down to Fort Benning, Georgia, and joined up with the 1st Cav. We went all the way out to California to get on a boat. And going to Vietnam, just 10, 12 days out on the ocean, and we had our helicopter on the same boat we was on. So when we got to Quin Yon, we put the rotor heads on, fired them up, flew them off the ship there at Quin Yon, and went to Ankh. And that's where all the combat started, you know. And thank God I was only there 1 year. That was enough for me. I was very, very lucky to make it out. A regular routine day, 6 helicopters go out and pick these infantry guys up and take them to someplace. We would almost land. Most time we'd get right down by the ground, they'd all jump off. They had a mission to do. And a lot of times, you know, when they'd complete the mission, or if there were still some people to go pick up, we'd go get them, bring them back to where we picked them up at, go back to our base camp, and start all over again. A lot of times, like the door gunner, he'd be on one side of the helicopter and I'd be on the other. We had a big bucket of bullets, you know, machine guns. Sometimes the actual VC be on the ground shooting back at us, would still land and let them guys jump off. And so I know what most of them were into. One of the people that I come acquainted with real well was one of the ones one day when we went down and let him off. And so right away, we hadn't been gone just maybe one circle. We got a call to go medevac one. I jumped out of the helicopter, ran over and got him, pulled him back up in the helicopter. That's the one guy that I knew that I called a friend. He was an infantry guy, and I met him after we got there. But he wanted to see some action, and you know, that's all he'd talk about. And he got it. First time he got to go down, he got killed. That when I did finally get to go to Washington, D.C. and see the real wall, I found his name there, and I was almost choked up thinking about him.
Chickasaw spiritual leaders developed elaborate strategies based on visions they had about engaging the enemy, where to find the enemy, how to best ambush the enemy. The element of surprise was extremely important in Chickasaw warfare. It was critical to surprise your enemy in that first heavy blow.
My time in Iraq, my day-to-day activity as far as, being strategic and in knowing our way forward and in setting a game plan in place, because there were certain missions that knowing that, life or death, was at the door. I felt the odds were stacked against me, especially in Iraq. You just didn't know what was going to happen day to day. You do your job, you never give up, and you're there to complete the mission. I believe the heritage behind the Chickasaws, as far as having that unconquerable aspect to the tradition of wartime, I think is a protective nature that was innate to being a Native American, protecting your fellow tribal members, protecting the land that we know and love. Protecting the homelands is really, a great honor.
First and foremost, Chickasaws are survivors, meeting all challenges, facing all threats. Throughout history, the tribe has demonstrated sheer will to continue on in the tradition of those who came before them, with an indomitable spirit to persevere.
Here's how close I came the day that the pilot got shot. He was about a foot away from him, and his head was about like this. And he got shot right in the neck. How they missed me, I don't know. It wasn't my time to go. When they shot him, the guys were just jumping off, and the co-pilot went to holler at me. He said, "Get him off the control, get him off the control." Got up there when I grabbed his arm and stuff and pulled him back. That's when I seen, where he got shot. And that's about one of the worst things that I can remember is pulling this helicopter, the pilot. And so him and the little infantry guy, they were the only two I knew by name that's on the wall,
Being in Vietnam, I learned what true feelings and true friends are. And we went to the wall. The motto of the Vietnam veterans at the dedication of the wall was marching together again. And it was. It was a healing wall. It's healed a lot of us. After my second tour. Well, if you looked out over the valley from Khe Sanh and Hill 861 oversaw Khe Sanh, you could see the helicopter coming down through the mountains. And he landed, and he came in to pick me up, take me back to the rear, so I could go back to Okinawa stage and come back home. And in the state of Oklahoma, when you come here and you cross the border, and it says Chickasaw Nation, I kiss the ground. It makes me so proud. I never got to tell everybody thanks, goodbye. Those Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marines, I want to say thank you. You were there when we needed you. You were there. You always were there.
The effects of the gauntlet that Chickasaw culture and society underwent throughout history is still in effect today, and it is revealed in Chickasaw's determination and continued warrior spirit in everything they do.
I'm really proud of the Chickasaw Nation, and what they have done is just, it just staggers my mind. The Chickasaw Honor Guard is available for any Chickasaw citizen that was a veteran And it's a good way to give back and to help other people to see the pride that we have as a tribe.
I just think that the Chickasaws have really done an amazing job by helping us to feel we are wanted and appreciated within our community. I think that it's wonderful that they have built this building and have created this society and want the Chickasaw people to know about the citizens and the warriors that have served.
I love my country. I can't thank the governor and lieutenant governor enough for what they have done for the veterans.
I would go back in a minute, my country called. My tribe, same way. I would do it all over again. The scars, the emotions, the men I lost. It hurts, but I'm proud. I'm Chickasaw proud.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh my God, that was such a touching video. I want to share that with Matt.
Yeah, there's so much that we don't know, and so many things that we learn all the time. I'm amazed at, with this getting older, what it means and how much I realize I don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
there's so much to learn from everyone and all the things that folks do.
And that that veteran that was 90, he spoke beautifully, and how touched he was to serve this country.
Yes.
God bless him. Well, you got to come back with your guests next time, girl. You caught them at the bad time when they were busy with one going to the Chargers game, and where was the other one going?
The other one had to work.
Okay. Well, we forgive them, but we look forward to having them on next time. You let us know when you come back.
Oh, definitely, they will be on, and they're wonderful guests. So we just have to make sure there's no Chargers games going on.
That's Sunday, so it could be, long as they're not at home,
That's right.
I have a couple of poems that I'd like to read to you.
Oh, okay.
And one of them, I'll get to that in a second, but it actually won second place. It's one that I wrote, won second place at for the George Floyd Poetry Anthology last year. So I'm really proud of that. But I have a couple that I would like to read. And poetry is something that I've been doing for a long time. I never really thought about it as I write all the time, and if you notice on Facebook, I'm always writing something. So I'm not a busybody, but I always have something to say or have an opinion about something. But the poetry comes just kind of naturally. I'll think about something and then I'll just jot it down. And then another time, many years ago, I actually wrote some lyrics for some songs, and that was new for me, and that was for a play. But this particular poem I'll read to you now, it's called Our Roots, was actually written for an event that Artem Koslov, the violinist that I had on several months ago, he put together a group of professional musicians, amateurs, students, and people who had never picked up an instrument before. And he was putting them together to actually play together. And my part in that was to write some poetry. So I wrote a couple of poems, and this is one of them that I'll read. It's called Our Roots. We go back to our roots. Everyone is family. Thoughtful care, and everyone shares. No person's unhoused, no persons neglected, all persons respected. We go back to our roots. Everyone is family. We share our love, our food, our dance, our music. Don't concentrate on differences. Look at the similarities. That brings synergy. We go back to our roots and everyone is welcome. Our hearts and doors are open. We trade in goodwill, kindness, and skills. We teach and we learn, and our language is warm and inviting. We plant and we nurture. We love and support. We harvest for all. No persons unhoused, no persons neglected, all persons respected. We go back to our roots. Everyone is family.
Beautiful. And is that published anywhere?
It's going to be.
Okay.
But not yet.
Let me just stop you just for a second. I just got a SOS that the power was going to go out in a few minutes in my neighborhood because of the wind. I mean, we're going to go ahead on with the show. Maybe it don't go out right now. Did you get anything like that, Taylor?
Not yet, but the wind's been picking up over here.
Yeah, so anyway, let's continue on. I just want everyone to know in case we go dark. That's us. Okay.
This next poem is called Andy's Wings, and this is for a gentleman who was very sadly killed while riding his bicycle. And it actually made the news because he was riding up in Griffith Park, and it happened. This is, I think, 2 years ago, or maybe a year ago. Anyway, it's called Andy's Wings. The wind was gentle and the swirl of air moved about swiftly as your ride to heaven began. The noise was impactful and the hush that came over the crash drew cries and whispers of disbelief. At that moment, the gossamer wings were sprouting and transforming your body into heaven-bound angel with wings. The ride to heaven through passages of light, warmth from the sun, and the bluest of blue skies. How could this be real, that Andy Gelmert had just died? The voices softly cried. You were a quiet man with so much soul, few words unless you were with those you loved and respected. The many charms about you will be missed like the very first kiss, the first rain of spring to brighten the gardens of flowers. The heavenly ride and transitions bring you to your younger self in many ways. You are once again in your prime, in a place where there is no time. You are eternally young. The wind was gentle and the swirl of air moved about swiftly as your ride to heaven began. Rest in love that follows you, Andy Gelmert, and we will be with you until we meet again.
Oh, beautiful. You go.
All right.
Writer, you go, girl.
I'll read you one more. That's the one that won the prize. Thank you. This will be the last one. This is rare for me to actually read my poetry. I did it a couple of weeks ago. I was in Long Beach actually a couple of weeks ago and did it at the Shakespeare Theater. There's a little theater there. This one is called 1952 on the Radio. And it's taken from real life, my real life with my parents. And it's a little rough around the edges. The kitchen was hot from the oven. The night was dark and rainy. Mother stood at the stove. Father would soon be home. The radio was on, men's voices, some loud, some muffled. Mother seemed different. The man said, the Negro was known to be trouble. Father came crashing through the door. Mother practically jumped out of her skin, frightened by the door and what was coming from the radio. Father would usually kiss me when he got home. Instead, he slipped off his wet coat, hat, and boots, sitting on a chair, intently listening. I watched them, horror on their faces, radio sounds from faraway places, direct to my parents, bent over listening. The pot on the stove came to a boil. My parents recoiled, mother in tears, father comforting her. I could see glistening water streaming down his cheeks. How could this be? My father never cried unless someone died. Did someone die that night? The kitchen was hot from the oven. The night was dark and rainy. Mother at the stove. Father would soon be home. The man was slight of build, a Negro with hands tied behind his back. No distinguishing marks except his face, bloodied and one eye protruding. The rope was thrown over the large tree branch in the square. Firelight on burning wood cast a shadow on the jeering crowd. Mothers holding babies, children looking, a man about to be hanged. As though they were at a carnival. Did someone die that night? The kitchen hot from the oven, the night dark and rainy. Mother at the stove. Father would soon be home. Little somber.
All right. Well, it's part of history. It's life. You know.
That was so heartfelt. Now, you had written that regarding your own family. Is that it?
Yeah, that I witnessed that. That actually happened in the kitchen. I was with my mom. She was cooking, and it was a Friday because we always had either fish or shrimp or something like that. She was making shrimp, and it was cold and it was rainy. And my dad came in and the radio was on, and they were describing a lynching that was taking place.
Oh God.
So that was the feeling of dread and horror as we were listening to this man on the radio describe what he was seeing.
Was that here in Los Angeles?
No.
The United States? Because I know you're from another country.
Yeah, it was in the United States. We were living in Boston at the time.
Okay.
And radio was on, and I got the feeling that it was somewhere in the South, like Atlanta or someplace. I don't know exactly, but I believe it was in the South.
Wow, that's scary. God bless your parents. Okay, well, that's beautiful. You say you won an award for that? Where?
Yeah, it was the George Floyd and Poetry Anthology. Can you see the book?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Kind of.
Wait. You put it with that background. Put it in front of me.
Is that? I don't know. It's not showing.
I turn your background off, just and show everything back there. So
I'll put it directly in front of your face. See what happens. There you go.
George Floyd with an afro now.
Yeah. Okay. God bless you, girl. We got to hear more of the poetry.
Well, the ones I'll do next time won't be so somber. Those are pretty somber.
Yeah.
Again, life is not, full of cherries every day. And
no, it's not. No, it's not. And you tell what was the gentleman's name from the Indian tribe?
Oh, that's Michael Whitehorse.
So he has to come on, though. I know he was busy today, but we need to hear from him personally. That's very touching. Was he in the video?
No.
Okay, but
he's not Chickasaw. He's from right here. He was born in the San Fernando Valley, and he is an elder in the Tongva. So yes, definitely back again.
Wow. Okay, Charles, we're gonna give it to you, and then we wind it on down, my friend.
Doing the Forgotten Woman.